Yeah.
What's up, boy?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Ethan?
Yeah,
How
all
you
right,
doing?
man.
You ready?
Yes, sir. All right. Let's go ahead over there.
Yeah. Highlight that already, man. Hey, I'm Keith Boykin, and I'm here today for another edition of what we call Fireside Chat. So I'm sitting here today talking with Ethan Ward. Welcome, Ethan.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, good meeting you. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ethan recently, and I was impressed with you. And so I wanted to have an opportunity to sit down and just have this conversation with you. So first of all, I want you to just tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you from, where you went to high school, where you went to college. Just tell me a little bit about your personal yourself.
Sure. So a little bit about myself. My name is Ethan Ward. I went to school at Shades Valley High School.
Shades Valley High School.
I graduated in 2020. I went to college at Troy University, graduated just this past year in May,
Okay.
and majored in global business with a concentration in risk management and insurance.
Okay. At Troy University, yeah. I visited Troy recently because we're doing college tours right now with my son, who's a senior now, so he liked that campus. And how old are you?
23.
23. That's a baby, y'all. That's real young. That's real young. You got any particular interests, like sports, participating, being a spectator? So what's your interest?
So my interests, I love running, number one. Like I have like 2-3 pairs of running shoes sitting at the house right now. Basketball, I also played throughout high school. I was actually trying to walk on the basketball team in college.
Okay, all right.
Things that are not working out, it just is what it is.
That's okay. Now when you run, what kind of distance you talking about?
Anywhere between 2 to 10 miles.
I knew he was gonna say something like that. So I'll make it a few blocks, okay? That's why I asked you that, okay? So now, when I was in college, I'm asking you this just to kind of, tell you, we all human, right? When I was in college, I was very, very disciplined. I got my work, I did what I needed to do. But when it was time to party, I was the first one at the party. And may have been the last one at the party. So I really like to have a good time. So I was disciplined and get my work done. Then I don't have to worry about, hey, I got to get this paper done or what have you. What's your interest, fun interest? What do you like to do?
Fun interest, basketball is kind of one of them. Just simply hanging out with friends, playing board games is another thing. And it's kind of just being a family, really.
Okay. So let me ask you, I said all these things just to, you're a regular guy, you're a regular dude, right? Just, you go about your day, and I wanted to sit down and have this conversation with you because, again, when I met you, I was very impressed at you at your young age and what you're doing. It was just very, very impressive to me. I think you're doing something that's very special. And you came and spoke at the Knights of Peter Claver meeting a few weeks back. Had never met you before. And the program that you're involved in, I thought it was just an excellent program, especially for someone so young to get involved. So I said, I want to interview that young man. I want to get a little bit more information because I want to spread the word, because I think what you're doing is really, really a good thing. It really is. So if you would, I'm calling what you're doing, I'm gonna let you explain it. I'm calling what you're doing is I wrote this down, you're a go get them and round them up mission. That's what you go get them and round them up mission. That's what you're doing. So because a younger person would listen to someone younger before they listen to someone my age. That's the reality. So tell me about this program. What is it? How'd you get involved? How long you been doing it? Just tell us about it.
So to start with this, just about it. So it's called F.O.C.U.S, which stands for the Fellowship of Catholic University Students.
Okay.
And ultimately, the organization was started back in '98, and from there they just recognized, like, wait a minute, we have a lot of young people, especially going to college, leaving the faith, what's going on? it's like everyone that goes into college to come in with their faith, culture, and values, all this stuff. But once they graduate college, completely put their faith on the back burner.
That is so true. That
And
is so true.
Focus was like, or at least people who started Focus was like, wait a minute, like what's going on? We need to change something about this. So we need to do something. And so that's when they came up with Focus. And so it initially started on 6 university campuses in '98, and currently now in 2025, we are at over 255 campuses,
255 campuses.
college campuses
And this is all in the U.S.
across the world.
Across the world.
So we are also in Germany. We are also in Europe for the most part. We've just, I believe, expanded to Ireland about
Wow.
some time ago.
Okay. So how did you find out about it? And why did you get involved? What personally hit you?
So for me, it wasn't until my freshman year of college. So came in and
Did you stop going to church?
I did not. Actually.
Okay. All right.
So a little bit of a backstory.
Okay.
I didn't grow up Catholic,
Okay.
but I came across a student who was leading a Focus Bible study. Ironically, his name was also Ethan. He's also taller than me, believe it or not. But he was leading a Bible study, a Focus-led one. And I remember afterwards,
This is at Troy.
This is at Troy.
Okay.
This was like beginning of September.
Okay.
And I remember asking him questions. I was like, wait a minute, why are you Catholic? I didn't realize it was a Catholic study. And he goes on trying to explain stuff to me. So I was like, all right, whatever, sure. So I left thinking, wait a minute. It sparked a lot of curiosity in me thinking, wait a minute, if we're both Christian, why are we disagreeing on things? So I started studying on my own, as well as Ethan started introducing me to the Focus missionaries on our campus. Because Troy had Focus missionaries on their campus since 2013.
Okay.
And them just walking with me, and pretty much through the course of my entire freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I made the decision that I wanted to enter into the church. So, long story short, talk with the priest. I get confirmed August 29th, going into my sophomore year.
So you went in to college as a what denomination were you?
Non-denominational.
Non-denominational. And you happened to walk into this group not even knowing it was a Catholic organization. You like what you heard and you studied it. Now see, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Brent sent back there, he's a convert. I think converts kind of know things better than us. That's like, I'm a cradle Catholic. That's very interesting. So once you saw this, you felt that it's something that you could do, that you want to get involved in.
Oh, absolutely.
So right now, you say you graduated Troy this past year?
So, excuse me, I mentioned last year. So I graduated.
Graduated last year. So this mission that you're on, you could be working somewhere, right? But you doing this mission, right? That's commendable, right? Because as a young person, hey, I want to get out, I want to, start making money, I want to get a car, I want to do this, I want to do that. So you're actually traveling around. So where have you been personally to help spread this mission? Where have you been?
So throughout my first year as a missionary, I was placed in Denver, Colorado. It's what's called the area campus. And from there, I was ultimately just like even serving the poor, like doing missional, like doing outreach on college campuses, reaching out to college students. And because so far, just after me leaving and just seeing like the impact, just me and my team done there, of course, allowing the Lord to work through us. I received a call from one of the guys who's in my Bible study saying like, hey, I'm entering the seminary. And I was like, whoa, what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just being able to see towards the end of the year, like the amount of fruit that was there beforehand.
Okay. So you're in Colorado, and now I understand you've been assigned to go somewhere at the end of this month, right? And then this is July of 2025, okay? So where are you going next?
So Focus has now expanded to their first ever HBCU campus. So I'll be going to Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And you'll be there for?
I'll be there for at least 1 year.
At least a year.
At least
okay.
a year.
Okay. So you got to have a personality to be able to
Yep.
to approach somebody and talk to somebody. Man, what's this guy talking about, right? So that's good. Now I understand. What did St. Jude in Montgomery, if that had any help or bearing on you? I got a little information about St. Jude. There's a connection with you in St. Jude in Montgomery?
There is, and it's with the priest.
Okay.
So his name is Father Andrew Jones.
Okay.
And he was also my spiritual director for like several years. But I remember my priest at Troy at the time, this is before I became Catholic, got me in contact with Father Andrew Jones up in Montgomery. And he was like, hey, you should just like hear his story, just like talk with him and whatnot, because he's also a convert. So I was like, sure, okay. And I remember the first time I had a phone call conversation with him, talked for like 2.5 hours. And
First conversation.
First conversation. It was 2.5 hours. And he's like sharing me his story as I'm sharing my story. He was telling me like, yeah, like the only convert Catholic in my family.
In your family. Oh wow.
So for him, because it was like we were able to relate on so much. The only difference is that for him and his family, like basically like majority of his family are like Baptist ministers.
Okay.
And so I thought that was interesting. I was like, well, I don't have like only have like a deacon in my family.
Yeah.
But that's how that connection started. And then he invited me to come to St. Jude on a Sunday. And he's like, just come on and drive up here. Just want to tell you about it.
You drove up from Birmingham.
So not from Birmingham, from Troy.
From Troy,
I was
yeah.
still at university. So this was 2021, just 3 weeks before I entered the church.
Okay.
And so I go up there, and after Mass, he's like, all right, is Ethan in the crowd? And I was like, yeah. And he asked me to stand up. And he asked the rest of the crowd, and this is a majority Black Catholic church. And he just asked the congregation, like, if you did not grow up Catholic, stand up. And like 80% of the congregation stood up. And I was like, holy cow. And
so that really impacted you when you can see there's others like me that, wow. And so that was your first time at that church?
First time. Okay. And so he went on to say, I just want you to know that you are not alone. And he also mentions the same thing as EWTN story on his coming home journey.
Okay. The EWTN story, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
And for me, I just felt like, all right, like I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Like
that makes you comfortable.
It makes me comfortable. And afterwards, he went on and just like gave me a tour of just around the city of St. Jude Church. Yeah. And it was beautiful.
Yeah. See, I grew up as a cradle Catholic, but my mom and her sisters, they were all Baptists and they converted. So thus moved forward, kids come later. Now, this is a volunteer program. So you have to come up with ways of supporting yourself. That's my understanding, right?
Yes,
so you go out and you go to different churches and go to groups like you came to the Knights of Peter Claver. And so that's what you are because you don't get paid for this.
No, sir. F.O.C.U.S gives us the unique opportunity for us to fully fundraise our salaries for our own living expenses as well as for the expenses to cover like retreats, conferences, certain events and stuff for the students.
Okay. Yeah, that takes a lot. Because you could be working somewhere, earning some money and riding around, and, so that means really that's very inspirational for you to take that on. So
I actually have a story a little bit about that. So, quick interject. It's just like my senior year of college. This is like my first semester. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to a career fair and meeting with all these different insurance companies. And one of them in particular I meet with the CEO along with the vice president of the
CEO?
CEO and the vice president were there at this career fair.
You usually don't get that at a career fair, but go ahead.
Not at all. Normally you're just getting some recruiter.
Right.
But I remember meeting with them, and then a week later, they emailed me a contract. Like, hey, we want you to be an underwriter to work at the headquarters of our company. And basically, I'm looking at the contract, salary, compensation, ultimately.
You broke at the time, right? You broke, right?
Signed papers a week later. The next thing you know, I was telling my parents, like, look at this. Like, wow. I'm going to Massachusetts. They're like, jaw dropped. Because it was ironic because my brother just got back from Massachusetts because he used to live up there. Okay. He used to live in Boston. Okay. And he got back. And they're just like, oh my goodness, we got another son going. So it's like all that joy for a short period of time until I let them know that, hey, I'm going to be a missionary. Because how that transpired, a week later, I go to recruitment weekend with F.O.C.U.S, which ultimately was like
just a week later after that.
Yes. Just after I signed papers, because I applied to be a missionary back sometime before I said yes to the contract to work as an underwriter, working in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And I go to this recruitment weekend. It's kind of weird because I was filling out my background check for the insurance job. I'm in between interviews for the missionary job. And so a week later, I get a call from the regional director with F.O.C.U.S, and he's like, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a position to be a missionary. Like you have a lot of potential. We'd love for you to be a missionary."
Wow.
So I'm like,
See,
and I remember passing out on the floor. Like,
yeah, I mean that's a really big decision, especially for someone young. And the purpose of you going to school is to get a job, to earn money.
Yeah.
But this right here, what you're doing, this is a calling. So again, I keep emphasizing that. That's why I was impressed when I met you. Like, wow, how many people do that, especially young people, and you doing it. And so that's great. And going to Howard's first HBCU campus. So I know you're going to be successful. I know you are. The Knights of Peter Claver, Council 140, Birmingham, Alabama, here in Birmingham. When you came again, we really like what we heard. And we have a mission to go out and to help others. We're blessed in what we have, and sometimes we just have to stop and recognize the things that we have. And after you came, we want to see what we could do for you. So we have a little gift for you that we'd like to give you. This guy, Brent Patterson. And so we have a gift for you. Take a look at
Thank
that.
you so much.
You can take a look at that gift. And this is from us for you to help you in your cause.
thank you all so much.
So you well deserving.
Proud of you.
And we
Thank you
really,
all so
we
much.
Really are. We really are. Bringing people to the church, back to the church, and those who were never a part of the church, is a difficult task. And what you're doing is very admirable. So we thank you, and we know you're going to be successful. We'll do all that we can, but when you have a young person like this, it just brings us to another level. So we want to thank you. Thank you for the time that you gave us today. And if someone wanted to help you, how can they reach you? You got an email address or something? How can they reach you?
So ultimately, the best way to reach me is through email.
Through email.
And my email is ethan.ward@focus.org.
Ethan, just spell it out.
ETHAN .ward WARD @focus FOCUS.org.
.org. Okay. So anybody want to help this young man or the organization in general, please do so. But this is really a worthy cause. So thank you again. Thank you for your time, and we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much.
All right.